All right, here's a couple examples of what it's going to look like to call the shot and then adjust fire. Hit, dead on, stand by. Hit, dead on, stand by. Send it. Miss 930 about a target's width. Adjust fire. Miss 930 about a target's width. Adjust fire. Send it. Miss 1 mil left, 0.3 up. Adjust fire. Hold.
Okay.
1 mil right, 0.3 down. Miss 1 mil left, 0.3 up. Adjust fire. Hold.
Okay.
1 mil right, 0.3 down.
Send it.
Miss 12 o'clock about a foot. Adjust fire. Hold low. 1.1 left, 0.1.
So then after the bullet makes its impact from just watching the bullet trace, what's the best way of calculating the specifics way out there?
Okay, as far as like how much you miss by?
Yeah.
Preferably, that's a good question. The spotter would be really well suited with a reticle in a spotting scope, so we can give an actual correction value. Otherwise, you're kind of at the mercy of your own spatial perception, which some folks have real good spatial perception. They can look at something, if they know the size of the target, and they can say, huh, that looks like you missed by about 18 inches, and they might be exactly right. However, that's kind of difficult to do for a lot of folks, and in a lot of situations you might not have a full view of the target, and you might get all messed up with your proportions. So if you have a reticle in your spotting scope, that's incredibly helpful. And mind you, again, you want to make sure that your reticle is going to be in the same denominations as what the shooter's using, so that you can communicate, hold off more quickly. If your reticle in your spotting scope is in mils, but the shooter's adjusting in minutes of angle, now you just added math to the equation. So you want to match his scope with your scope so you're talking the same language.
Absolutely.
So when you miss, 2 left, 1 up. And then you communicate that to the shooter. He'll apply correction or a hold-off value. A lot of times on a follow-up shot, you got to be quick, so he's just going to apply a quick hold-off value by whatever number you give him, and then he'll send that second shot, and you should be like right on target. And it's quite common to miss on your first shot, especially at long range. That stuff is hard. So you're going to miss. You're just going to need to know how to get on target quickly right away.
So after you take the shot and say it's a miss and you need to correct the shot, your situation will determine the pace at which you have to make that adjustment.
Right. Yeah, so you might be in a hurry, and maybe you won't. If you're shooting at a piece of steel, there might not be that big of a hurry. But if you're shooting at an animate target, yeah, you're going to want to be able to give a real quick value. And There's a lot of formulas you can use, like a mil.master is helpful if you don't have a reticle in your spotting scope, because then you can convert apparent sizes of how much you missed into minutes of angle or mils by using the slide rule calculator of a mil.master tool. And I can show you on a video how to run one of those things too.
And that just comes back to efficient communication between the sniper and spotter once again, and streamlining the process and having your jargon and everybody on the same page.
So what's going to happen, honestly, if you have to make a correction? If after the spotter effectively determined exactly where that bullet went with confidence, he can give you a confident correction. And the way he's going to communicate that, hopefully, is in angular units of measurement, which you can index on your scope or apply and hold off using the reticle of your scope.
And those are the two primary things, is either holding or adjusting your scope,
Yeah,
right?
normally you're not going to be equipped with like a standard sporting optic for long-range target shooting where you just have a crosshairs or a duplex reticle. You're going to have angular units denominated in the scope. And that's probably the most effective way of correcting for fire. You can apply windage on the scope and elevation on there, but that's really not quick enough, and you're going to be excited from just having made a shot. You're going to be in a hurry, and it's not really a good way to do, in my opinion. So I think that applying a correction for a missed shot, or for windage or anything really, if you have to make a quick on-the-fly correction, it should be an applied hold-off using the reticle.
That's quickest and most efficient.
Yes. And so the spotter is going to be able to determine, either by using his spotting scope equipped with the reticle and the same units of angular measurement that you're using, mils usually, or minutes of angle, or whatever system you're using. I mean, you can use, I don't know, whatever you want to use. But he's going to communicate that to you in numbers that you're going to actually apply and hold off. If he just gives you inches, that's not as precise as you should be, because inches are relative depending on your spatial perception, okay? So you're going to want to have a more precise way of quantifying, like by how much you missed and in what direction you need to correct.
So if the situation warrants so to correct the fire, it's either going to be the spotter or the shooter who's spotting his own scopes or spotting his own shots, making those corrections.
That's where a lot of these reticles are actually pretty handy. There's some reticles that have like a lot of stuff going on in them. So you have a standard mil-dot reticle is pretty clean. You have your crosshairs and you have your dots on there, you know, assigning how many mils apart the different spatial units are, okay? There is a set of reticles marketed as the Horus reticles, they call them, and it's basically a grid network of some kind, and there's lots of different sub-variations of these where it gives you like a tic-tac-toe grid pattern all throughout the bottom half of the scope. And you can apply very quick and precise hold over and hold off values using those. So those are really nice in battlefield applications, or where you're going to be allowed to have a second and third and fourth and fifth shot. If you need to correct fire, that's a real slick way of doing it. And so you shoot once, you notice in the grid exactly where it hit, and you just hold where that was in the reticle, and then you adjust fire. And likewise, you do the same thing mentally with if you have a straight mil-dot reticle. I'm actually a mil-dot reticle guy. I have pretty good spatial perception, just naturally, so I don't have a problem imagining that Horus grid network in the scope. So you can apply pretty precise hold-off values that way as well if you got good spatial perception. But if you really, if that's something you're going to be doing a lot of correcting fire and stuff, and engaging multiple targets where you might not even have time to adjust values on the scopes for different ranges, like in a battlefield where you got 20 targets running around all at once, or 20 prairie dogs, or whatever you're shooting at, sometimes it's nice just to be able to just spend around to see where it's going to go, and then adjust fire instantly. Boom, spend around, see where it's going to miss, and then, you know, adjust fire and do it like that. So for a semi-automatic platform or something, or even a bolt action where you can burn a couple extra rounds, that's a decent way to go as well. But correcting fire is something that you should be able to have the ability to do efficiently.
And a lot of that will just depend upon the situation.
Absolutely.
How much time you have.
And you want to be able to shift gears too. You want to be able to know how to do it both ways. You don't want to just be able to do it the super precise slow way where you determine exactly where to go, index everything, or apply the hold off. You want to be able to have that ability to switch into panic mode as well if you need to wrap off multiple shots or whatever. Should be able to kind of have all your bases covered because you don't know what's going to happen out there. So, yeah, correcting fire is pretty straightforward. You just want to do it. I would recommend doing it by actually using some kind of reticle help where it's going to tell you exactly how much to correct by. Because this whole, my version of 12 inches and yours might be different.
Oh, ask my girlfriend. Put up.
Oh, jeez. Oh, there's a family show until the last few videos. Yeah, I gotta leave that in there because that's actually kind of funny. I didn't say it though. Jeez.
But yeah, it's all relative, and having something concrete that you can relate distances to, that makes all the difference.
That's correct. Oh man, you're making me blush over here. Jeez.
Yeah, my 12 inches.
Oh, mercy. Okay, so now they know how to correct fire. You want to be able to have that ability to switch into panic mode as well if you need to wrap off multiple shots or whatever.
Oh, he's moving. He's moving.
I don't know how far the leprechaun is.
Rex, leprechauns are approximately 18 inches tall. Do you know what your formula for determining how far away the leprechaun is?
I don't know. I don't know.
The leprechaun's getting away.
I don't know.
He's getting away.
No.
No,
You maniac.
no, he's gonna find a leprechaun. Ah, Rex. All those months you spent at the Leprechaun Interdiction Academy.
I know. I didn't even know a fire solution.
How many fake leprechauns did you kill?
I didn't kill any leprechauns. They all got away.
Even the fake ones? How'd you manage that? You're the worst leprechaun hunter in history.